Hello, I'm Michael Westland-Rose and I am a presentation skills and communication skills trainer and coach, and I've just been running a course for a small group of people, and one of the objectives that they came up with was about learning how to control questions and make sure that discussions didn't go off in tangents. So I'm just going to give you a quick resume of what some of the main things that I covered in answer to that objective. So all about controlling questions and discussions. So first of all, looking at the questions that people may be on the receiving end of, I think it's important to categorize the type of questions that you're getting. And the good news is that there's actually only 3 categories of type of question that you might be on the receiving end of. So one of those is what I call the yes question, which is whereby people are saying, in essence, yeah, I fairly much understand this, I just need to clarify 1 or 2 things. Or yes, I'm going along with this, long as you clarify something fairly small. So that's your yes response. The next one is maybe. So these are the people that are saying, well, I'm not sure if I've totally understood this. There may be a number of questions that I've got, or again, it might be to do that with their agreement. And again, I'm not quite there yet. I'm a bit sat on the fence, therefore I've got a number of questions. And then if you've got some people close to saying yes, some people saying maybe, then you can guess the final category, which would be no. So those are the people that are saying, no, I don't understand much of this. You've kind of blinded me with science or given me too much information. Or again, in terms of their agreement, from where I sit, things look very differently and I can't go along with this. So that, of course, you're going to need to spend quite a bit of time with those people. And that's the point of this, that once you've categorized the question that you're on the receiving end of, you can then just decide how much time you might need to devote with that particular questioner, depending on whether they're yes, maybe or no. Chances are you're going to have to spend more time with the people who are saying maybe or no than the people who are close to saying yes. I found that a big trap that a lot of presenters fall into is that they'll take a question which actually is close to saying yes, and they'll end up giving it a really long answer, going around all the trees and all the houses. They may end up confusing the issue, or in the process they tend to raise more questions. When actually, sometimes with the yes question, you can give a very brief answer. Sometimes it's just a clarification, yes, that's right, or no, it's like this. That leads you to the type of answers that you give, which again, the tips I'm going to give you here is threefold, that you might decide to answer a question in full. You would decide to do that because the question is absolutely relevant to the aims and the objectives of your presentation. And also, it's a maybe or a no, so it's going to need a bit more of an answer anyway. Your next option is to answer a question in part. In other words, give a short answer and maybe promise more another time. Or maybe if it's something that you're coming on to later on, then you can say, I'll just give you a quick answer now, which is this, and actually I'm coming on to the rest of the detail for that later on. And that can help you to control that kind of type line of questioning. And your final option is not to answer the question at all, and you would take that option because the question is not actually relevant to the aims and the objectives and the contents of that particular presentation. And one way of doing that without saying, I'm going to put it on hold or I don't have the answer to that question, a very good way of doing that is to say, thank you for the question. Actually, there's some things that I want to check up on that because I want to give you an absolute clear and detailed answer. So if you don't mind, I'll check up on those details and I will get back to you. If you also tell them exactly how you're going to get back to them, whether you're going to phone them the next day, or whether you're going to send it in an email, or maybe come back to them at the next meeting. So that's the trick, is to tell them exactly how you're going to tackle that question. And then what that does is that kills that line of questioning dead there and then. So as I say, in summary, listen carefully to the type of question that you're getting, work out whether it's yes, maybe or no. That in turn will help you to decide how much time you spend with each individual questioner. Think about whether it's going to be in full, in part, or even not at all. Final trick I'll give you is that when you do spend some time answering a question, you then want to go back and check that you have satisfied the questioner. So if you've answered in full, because maybe it was a maybe or a no type question, so go back and say, does that answer your question? Or is that okay with you? Or are you happy with that now? And see what they say. Because you do want to find out, have you satisfied the questioner? If not, then maybe you do need to spend a bit more time with them. If you have satisfied them, then great. You will show to the rest of your listeners that you have at least tackled one person's question. I hope this will help you to control questions in future and help to make sure things don't go off in a tangent.